Hi, welcome. My name is Vilingor, and in today's video I will be talking about how to enjoy video games. Now, this title sounds very strange because one thinks, well, of course, it's easy to enjoy video games. It's just something that comes natural. If you like video games, you play them and you enjoy yourself. But it is not that simple. So this is what happened to me, and I think this is what happens to everybody if we do not pay attention. You see, when we are kids in childhood, and if you try to remember, you can remember that video games were this kind of magical experience. The sounds, the colors, it was all very vivid, very alive, very immersive. Even if the game was not so advanced graphically and sound-wise as games are today, still it was this magical, immersive experience. And something is lost in the process of growing up. The games don't have that same fascination, maybe. And this is what I'm talking about. And that childhood feeling of gaming can actually be retrieved. It can be reacquired. And that's what this video is about. But again, to many people this video will not make any sense whatsoever, and that's also okay. So, what is the basic problem? Why does this happen? Why do video games become less enjoyable to us as we get older? The main reason is because we become so focused on achieving instead of experiencing. So what happens is that as we game more and more and more, we become more and more focused on achieving goals within the games, finishing the level, achieving high scores, and there is this compound effect through the years that the more we play, the more we become focused on achievement, and the more we become tense, the more we become irritated by losing, and the less and less we actually pay attention to the sounds, to the images, to the game itself. We start to speed up instead of slowing down and sinking in the atmosphere of the game and actually feeling the game. We start to think that the game is all about winning instead of what the game actually is about, and that's enjoying. And if you are seeing a parallel now in what I'm saying with life, you are correct. The same thing happens to us in regards to life. We are focused on goals and achievements instead of enjoying life. But let's get back to the topic of video games. So what happens with time that video games become actually like work. They become a chore. I need to achieve this. I need to be this level. I need to do this. And then one plays the game even though it's at this point maybe not even enjoyable. So I'm just gonna look at my bullet points here. I'm gonna say some things here that will help us to fix this problem of game enjoyment. And first I'm gonna start with some simple rules, some simple things that one can do to enjoy more video games. Well, the first rule would be don't try to win. Now this seems a little bit counterintuitive, but see, winning is an inevitable consequence of playing video games. That's something that will just happen. Like in life, we win and we lose. So equally in video games, winning is inevitable. But again, when we focus on winning, then we don't experience the rest of the game. So first thing first is letting go of winning, allowing yourself to lose, being okay with losing and relaxing, and just deciding to dedicate oneself to the experience. The next thing is just with this, and this comes automatically with this unfocus from winning, is that you just play a little bit slower. It comes automatically. Then, of course, if you're not focused on winning, you will also not drink energy drinks or coffee, and that will automatically also make you slower. And maybe it even will make you a worse player, a little bit of a worse player. But that's the thing. Oh, I will not now talk about how to get results in video games. That's another topic. But yes, you will be a little bit of a worse player when you start to do what I'm suggesting here. But in the long run, in a short run, one becomes less of a good player because one plays slower. But in the long run, it's actually, I think, beneficial. To actually achieve mastery, one needs to learn to be relaxed in playing the game. And you are relaxed in playing the game when you are not focused on winning. Instead, you are focused on what's in front of you, the sounds, the visual part of the game, and all of that. So another important point of how to enjoy the game is to not play too much. Again, an counterintuitive point. So do not play video games out of boredom. I've done this, of course, many times over, but it ruins the game and it ruins the experience. So playing 8 hours a day, it's kinda too much. So limiting oneself to maybe half an hour a day usually is enough. And then it feels good, it's good for the body because the body rests during the gaming from any physical activity, other physical activities that happened during the day. And yeah, that's it. So sitting and playing the game just because I don't have anything else to do is not good for the gaming experience. It's a lousy gaming experience. The next point is to make oneself comfortable. This is also important. To sit properly, to breathe properly. Well, breathing properly, that's a whole another topic. But everything that's painful, if I'm sitting uncomfortably, if my back hurts, if my knees hurts or whatever, that affects our enjoyment of the game. So we have to feel good in our bodies to actually enjoy the game. So it's not a good thing, for example, to play the game early in the morning, because then the body is full of energy and that's the time where one needs to move. By contrast, at the end of the day, when I've been really, let's say, working physically and moving a lot, then just to sit without playing a video game, just to sit, it feels good for the body, it feels good for the legs. There's that pleasant feeling of resting. And then if you play the game, it's just very enjoyable because your mind can go while your body can rest. And those are some of the best moments in my experience when to play the game. And now let's move to the final point on how to enjoy video games, and that point is to turn off your brain and to come to your senses. In a way, I already explained it, but now I will specifically say how to do that, how to move from achieving to experiencing the games, how to do it specifically. So, the way to do it is to focus on the sound. That's one way to do it. So what one does when playing the game is to just listen to the soundtrack, to the sound effects of the game, and it needs to be a certain kind of listening. It's a kind of listening without analyzing the sound, without naming the sound, without thinking, oh, this is a gunshot, this is a piano, a violin playing in the background. Don't do that. That will not help. That will complicate the things. What you need to do is listen to the video, to the sounds of the video game in the same way as one would listen to a classical music, let's say. You know, when you just sit down, relax, and then turn on the music and just listen to music without, again, naming the instruments or having any particular images in your head, just listening to the sound without naming it. And so what happens then, when you do it in the video game, what happens next is that listening to the sound is a doorway into the rest of the experience of a video game, meaning that then you start also to actually look at what's on the screen, at the colors, at the shapes, at the images. And all of that brings up the beauty, because you are actually experiencing the game. You're not rushing through it. You're not trying to get to some future point of the game where you are winning. No, you're just seeing and hearing the game, actually seeing and hearing the game. And that is something that happened a lot in our childhood, but when we grow up, we forget to do that, to enjoy stuff. And that's it. Now, this is not something easy to do. This takes practice. It takes time to get even the basic results. It may take a lot of practice for somebody who's not used to this. And what I am basically talking about here is meditation. That's what it is. The Buddhist Zen kind of meditation, just applied to video games. Because meditation can be applied to anything. It's just a way of life. So I'm just explaining here how to play video games in a Zen meditative kind of a way that is enjoyable. So again, what I'm suggesting here is not easy, but then what is the alternative? Games becoming a drudgery and a chore. So really there's only one way to go, and that's the way to actually try and do the effort of enjoying the games, because it requires work. Even that requires work. Even enjoying life, one needs to know how to do that. That's not something that just comes naturally. Joie de vivre, the pleasure of living, is something that is learned. And that would be it from me for this video. I wish you amazing adventures within the fantastical world of video games. See you in the next video. Bye.